Fill your summer with the sun-kissed sweetness of Amigos Refreshers. There's strawberry acai, blueberry dragon fruit, and mango passion fruit, each a tropical delight. So skip the hot coffee and amp up your day with the plant-based natural caffeine and fruity flavor fusions in an Amigos Refresher. These cool thirst quenchers are just $3.99, or there's a mega 32-ounce size for $4.99. Recharge with the bold, fresh flavor of an energizing refresher at Amigos.
This podcast is sponsored by Monarch Money. Are you saving to reach your financial goals? Reaching those goals isn't just about getting more money, but by managing what you have. And the best way to manage your money? Monarch Money. Monarch Money is a new kind of finance app that's intuitive, powerful, ad-free, and takes the headaches out of budgeting. Try it free when you go to monarchmoney.com/podcast. Monarch puts all your accounts, investments, transactions, and finances at your fingertips. With a complete view of your finances, you'll gain insights on your spending and find new ways to save. Plus, Monarch lets you customize your dashboard, collaborate with your partner, set custom budgets and goals, and track your progress toward them. See why Mint users are turning to Monarch Money and loving it, and why the Wall Street Journal named Monarch Money the best budgeting app overall. Get a 30-day free trial when you go to monarchmoney.com/podcast. That's MONARCH money.com/podcast for your free trial. monarchmoney.com/podcast.
Okay, round two. Name something that's not boring.
A laundry? Ooh, a book club. Computer solitaire, huh?
Ah, sorry, we were looking for Chumba Casino. That's right, ChumbaCasino.com has over 100 casino-style games. Join today and play for free for your chance to redeem some serious prizes. ChumbaCasino.com. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18+. Terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Mambo number 5. No, not really. It's the Three Morons.
2005 Ashes?
No, we don't need to talk about how much time you
2005 Ashes
spent
on Channel 4.
fucking Lords as an MCC groundsman during 2005. We have heard that story many a time. Anyway, the Three Morons from Slugging It are back with you. Firstly, an apology. We were supposed to do weekly episodes, but then bank holiday got in the way, and so we couldn't get our arses in gear to get together last week. So here we are 2 weeks after the last one, which was approximately 12 weeks after the previous one to that. So, but we're getting better. We're getting more regular, which as a man is always beneficial, you would think. Right.
Well, it's good to be regular.
Yes,
Keep
absolutely.
that fibre going.
And cereal's not a big thing for me, to be honest. So yeah, I need to find other ways to.
Daily dose of slogging it will help your
daily dose of
regularity.
shit from us three. We'll see you through. Right, lots to get through. As always, just a bit of a catch up. UGB. I mean, we know what you've been up to. You have been playing. Well, you know, you're the only international cricketer out of the three of us anyway. But you've now been playing in a European competition.
Yeah, I played in the ECN last week, which was a good lot of fun. 5 teams came down and played in it. It was played in the wonderful borough of Rains Park, Wimbledon's second ground. Yeah, who was it? It was Spencer, Wimbledon, Twickenham, Tunbridge Wells, and Hornchurch. The 5 of us played. And then an invitational came to the final day on Friday in the NCCA, who absolutely smoked us.
Everyone.
I mean, everyone. Like, it doesn't matter. I mean, you know, it was I mean, first of all, it's I mean, if you've ever watched the ECN, first of all, it's a 10-over competition. So it's a gamble and a lottery at the best of times. We did quite well. We qualified second out of all of the groups. So we lost 2 games, both against Wimbledon, which were quite tight. We beat Spencer twice. We had a couple of rained-off games because the weather wasn't particularly great during the week. And then we got to the playoffs on Friday and played against Spencer. And a certain gentleman by the name of Troy Johnson decided to take everyone apart. He scored something like 70 against us and got them through to the stage against Wimbledon. He then scored 132 off 32 balls against Wimbledon. And then And then Spencer qualified for the final against the NCCA, and he went on to score 70 against them, which unfortunately 130 against the NCCA was not good enough, and they ended up chasing it down. But I mean, a bonkers competition. First of all, they take your phones away. We weren't prepared for all of this. So we arrive on Monday, and they do us a bit of a briefing, and they go, "Look, yeah, we need your mobile phones." We're like, "Well, what's going on?" And they say, "Oh no, by the way, these games are all broadcast live on YouTube, and there's a lot of sport betting on it." So we were worried about match fixing, and I'm like, "Hang on, what's going on here? This is I didn't realize this at the time, but this was a proper ICC sanctioned event." Yeah. So if you went onto any of the sports betting apps, you would have seen, Twickenham against Wimbledon or Spencer or Tunbridge Wells, and we all had our individual numbers. So it was good fun from that point of view to get that sort of exposure. A few of the lads had the negative side of it, unfortunately, with some very direct Instagram messages DM'd to them, calling their families out and telling them what they would do if they didn't, fix a game, and some other very direct conversation. It was bonkers. It was genuinely bonkers. First of all, non-cricketing side was bonkers, and then the cricketing side was bonkers too. I mean, there was a 41 run over. Fortunately, not against us. Yeah, it was one of those weeks where you're just going, this has just been an absolutely bonkers whirlwind ride of cricket. So yeah, that was my week last week, and then I got into Saturday cricket and tried to swipe the first ball out of the ground like I was doing all week and got key balls. So, yeah, it was good.
Oh, that's brilliant. All right, just to go back on. Well, just to go back over that. So match fixing is alive and well. Then this is something that people will bet on. Fucking literally hit and giggle cricket in Rains Park.
Yeah, 100%. And I mean, I don't know the dates, and I don't know the data and the stats and all of that for guaranteed, but it's not small amounts of money either. Allegedly, the one that they did in Malaga, the last, because I mean, what was it? There's 163 tournaments that have taken place. This is the first one in England that we participated in. The last one that was where I think
Hornchurch and Wimbledon went to it.
Like I said, I wasn't following it. Hornchurch and Wimbledon went to it. Apparently, there was over £1 million of betting on that. So it's silly money that the guys are betting. Look, again, I don't know that for a fact. It's all hearsay. It's one of those where you're listening to these guys talk about it. And then, it was interesting because they said if you get approached by anybody, and who's going to approach me? And you should see just about everybody gets approached. And you have to screenshot the message, send it through to the officials, because there's everything as per normal. There's match fixing officials, there's a match referee, there's all of that were there on the
That's
week.
hectic.
So, yeah, it was a bit.
Is that why you got stumped first ball in the second time you batted? Because
you mean the one where I stood on my stumps? Yeah. It was very surreal.
Went full Mohammed Omir on it.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I mean, different. I want to call them rules too, because I don't think they're laws. Like the boundary is 50 meters big from the center of the pitch. The 30-yard circle is 30 yards from the center of the pitch. So when you're standing at short fine leg and short third man,
you're not very far away.
Basically at gully, especially when you got Adam Mather bowling wheels. I mean, I was standing at third man and took a couple of catches at short third man as if they were gully. The other thing that was really interesting is our keeper was not allowed outside of the 30-yard circle, which normally he is. So he's standing, taking the ball, clapping above his hands, above his head.
Dale Steyn playing or something. Well, I mean, he was still stood 20 yards back. I mean, it was bowling in this event.
Look, Ads is pretty quick. We think he's about 80 miles.
It's on Astro as well, isn't it? Yeah.
It's on Astro, right? It's not on. Yeah, so it flies through. I mean, you guys.
Oh, we can't. Well, I can see
it. The viewers won't see it, but yeah. That was a bumper that I got. So for those viewers that are watching on YouTube, you can have a look at my arm. I've got it's gone yellow now. It's gone from blue to brown to yellow.
That is absolutely nuts.
Couple of
Can we do it next time? We want to do a live commentary for one of these.
Yes,
because I think it'd be carnage.
First of all, go and listen to the commentators on that. It's all on YouTube. Go and have a look for ECN England. The commentators are bonkers themselves. They literally, you listen to it for 5 minutes and you go, this is just, it reminds me of Danny Morrison back in the early days of the IPL-esque stuff, where he was just off the charts, and they call him like a sixer Maximo, and like they start realizing your names, and they goes, oh, burgers coming in. Oh, he's been eating a lot of burgers, and he comes up with all sorts of weird and wonderful things. Donny, they called him the Don because he kept scoring runs. So he's like, oh, what a great name, the Don.
Well, a lot of fun. A lot of fun.
It was
good to be involved in, obviously. So, no, well done, mate. Well done, Simon. I mean, I've seen a fair bit of you, so I kind of know what you've been up to. Do you want to talk the listeners through golf?
No. I mean, I part of me just wants to ask Eugene more questions about this cricket because I find it astounding.
Yeah. So no golf chat then.
No, the fact that you've only got to cloth it 8 yards to get it past mid-on, I found absolutely mind-boggling, and that the boundary at the shortest distance is 40 yards.
Eugene,
I mean, no wonder someone got 130 and 30 balls. I mean, if someone's bowling at 80 mile an hour, why would you bother hitting it forward?
Yeah.
Just ramp everything. I mean, climbing on the dome, it'll go for 6 leg byes.
I mean, edges were going for 6. You take a proper swipe at it, was going for 6. So yeah, that's why so many runs were scored during the week, though.
So just to clarify,
keep in mind that I think this is probably the best standard they've seen, and I'm saying Spencer, NCCA, Wimbledon. This is probably the best. I mean, the best standard that.
Yeah, because
I'm guessing
the Spanish sides won't be as strong, but then you've got some very, very, very good cricket sides playing there. From that area of Southwest London, you've then obviously got the combined minor counties players and Hornchurch, who won the ECN in Spain, that Wimbledon also went out to at the back end of last year. So, no, there's going to be some seriously good cricket. The one thing I did want to ask you about was a man that we were going to get onto the podcast, but then I think it was you. Was it you and me, Eugene? We actually had a conversation with Pavel Florin, and we thought there is no way this bloke can come on our podcast because he's an absolute buffoon. But he turned up and played for Hornchurch, didn't he?
Yes, he played. Well, first of all, he went for a net at O'Dubs, so Old Wimbledonians, a club next door. And they did a whole piece on him, and he played for the LMS side on the Wednesday night. And then he ended up turning out for Hornchurch. I mean, Hornchurch came with I guess you could call it a touring side because, man, they were on the beers all day and, all of that sort of stuff. So, yeah, I mean, they came with a touring bus. Good laugh and good fun and good people from that perspective. But you could see that they were just bringing anybody that wanted to play it. We didn't know this, though. So, like, a good example is Matt Boyle, who plays for Three Bridges Cricket Club. He's there overseas this year. He plays for
no, it's not. It's Jack Boyle, and he's the overseas for Wimbledon. Right. Oh, sorry, I didn't know that.
Matt Boyle. Yeah, so his brother came across and smoked us everywhere. He scored 34 runs off Rash, which is our opening bowler, and we were just fetching leather. But we didn't know. The moral of that story is we didn't know you could register people not from your club until we got to the tournament. So Hornchurch had brought a whole bunch of people that they just invited. Same for Wimbledon. Spencer, I think, had a Spencer side. I'd argue that they were just Spencer players. But yeah, it was, like I say, and again, who can blame Hornchurch and Tunbridge Wells? They were traveling from decent distances, and it was a week where people were working, albeit half term. So we registered a squad of, I think, 25 people,
right?
Just because people were swapping in between, and where a lot of the juniors play on like the Tuesday, for example, and then when it got to the the final, then we had probably a stronger side than we would have had on the Tuesday, for example. But we're definitely going to do it again if invited, because I think the way that it worked is all the T20 winners of each of the competitions, Middlesex, Surrey, Essex, were all invited. And
it's like the first one in the UK, isn't it? So it's a great marker post to kind of to start it off. So no, very exciting, and again, well done, Simon. Before we move on, golf.
Again,
I've been terrible, John. I've.
Go on, John. Tell me about Simon's golf because
I'm being cruel. Actually, it's not. He's not shown his best stuff. Let's say over the last 2 or 3 weeks.
So let's move on to your golf.
You say that, Eugene, and this.
That's the only reason he's brought it up, Eugene.
No, it's not. No, it's not. No, it's not. Because actually, the other thing I was going to talk about was the glorious barbecue that we were at together yesterday, Simon, in the time that we've not been with the lovely listeners. But what an afternoon that was yesterday, surrounded by friends and family.
Yeah, we had a great time. So my old man's birthday and another friend's birthday, and drank too much. Felt terrible today at work, but never mind. Life goes on.
There's a new Thatcher's blood orange cider, by the way, which I got Simon into yesterday. It is absolutely wonderful for those who haven't tried it. So definitely search that out. I took a bit of a risk on that in Sainsbury's local at Ravenshead yesterday, but my God, did it pay off. Yeah, my golf's going okay, thank you, Eugene. I have come down about 2.5 shots in the space of 10 days. Such is my form at the moment. So, say again?
Pencil or the golf club?
No, the golf club.
With the pencil or the golf club?
Yeah.
Oh, fit.
No. Simon can vouch for it. I'm playing nicely at the moment, to be fair. So yes. But anyway, look, what a great start to hear of you playing in such a fantastic tournament, Eugene. And it's cricket related, which is nice, rather than the usual buffoonery we talk about at the top of the show. Right. Other things to talk about. Well, we'll obviously have Stupid Simon's Stupid Quiz. And then, I think the World Cup's going to form the majority of tonight's podcast, isn't it? The Blast is going on. I don't think any of us are particularly interested in the Blast, to be honest. And I think that's a really sad thing for English cricket, that 3 people who love cricket as much as we do just don't really see the value in watching the Blast. You know, I think the 100 has probably overtaken the Blast in people's view. I think more people now probably do watch the 100. I think that's perceived to be the bigger tournament because of the stars that play in it than the Blast. So I haven't really paid much attention, and I know you two haven't either, have you?
No, not at all. I mean, I was just looking now. I can't believe that there's been
already
21 matches, 22 matches played, and I don't think I've seen one. So yeah, I mean, not a great advert for us anyway, as fans not watching it. But we should make an effort. And
I know there's a young lad got 100 for Essex the other night, which obviously is impressive. Not to have lost twice.
Yeah, have you seen the news about Essex today?
Yes, Essex is like Yorkshire Mark II.
Essex have been. Yeah,
this has been rumbling on behind the scenes for probably a similar amount of time as we've known about the Yorkshire thing. It was just whether it was ever going to come out and when it was going to come out. But Essex look like they're in a fair amount of trouble, to be honest.
I mean, there's just a lot of politics going on in cricket. There's the guy that's been banned for 3 months.
Yeah, I was going to say, when you talk about sports betting, that was what I was going to bring up. The fact that Bride and Cross has been banned for 3 months.
Yeah.
Anybody who seems to be an ex-Woodstock professionally supported player at the moment seems to be going through the mill. So that's him and Matt Carter, the latter of which we cannot talk about. We'll talk to you about that off air, Eugene. But yeah, that's certainly not something we can discuss on air at the moment, having obviously left Notts by mutual consent.
Okay, round 2. Name something that's not boring.
A laundry? Ooh, a book club. Computer solitaire, huh?
Ah, sorry, we were looking for Chumba Casino. That's right. ChumbaCasino.com has over 100 casino-style games. Join today and play for free for your chance to redeem some serious prizes. ChumbaCasino.com. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18+. Terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
Lucky Land Casino, asking people, what's the weirdest place you've gotten lucky?
Lucky? In line at the deli, I guess?
Aha, in my dentist's office. More than once, actually.
Do I have to say?
Yes, you do.
In the car before my kids' PTA meeting.
Really?
Yes.
Excuse me, what's the weirdest place you've gotten lucky?
I never win and tell.
Well, there you have it. You can get lucky anywhere, playing at LuckyLandSlots.com. Play for free right now. Are you feeling lucky? No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18+. Terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
Okay, round 2. Name something that's not boring.
A laundry? Ooh, a book club. Computer solitaire, huh?
Ah, sorry, we were looking for Chumba Casino. That's right. ChumbaCasino.com has over 100 casino-style games. Join today and play for free for your chance to redeem some serious prizes. ChumbaCasino.com. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18+. Terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
Anyway, so we shall move on. The World Cup. Now, America and Canada, And you're kind of going, is that going to be a real kind of fireworksy start to the competition? Now, I don't know if either of you two have seen it, but fuck me, what a game. So I just caught the highlights because I wasn't going to watch it because I was just like, I'm not, busy, loads of other stuff on. And I didn't know anything about the game, didn't know the score, and it was just on. So I just thought, I'll have a look, see what the standard's like. Canada put, I think, up 195 for 6. And you're thinking, hold on, that's a pretty steady effort. Now, they were obviously playing in Rains Park on the same size pitch as the European Cricket Network, because the ball is flying fucking everywhere, and they're plinking it for 6. But the US, I was like, they've got no chance here. Surely, absolutely no chance. And then this fella, whose name I can't remember him, I just know that he is basically the double of Temba Bavuma. Hit Jones, is it?
Aaron Jones.
Aaron Jones.
Aaron
hit
Jones.
94, not out, of 40 balls, 10 sixes. And my God, he hit 3 out of the stadium. There's some talented lads now playing for these associate nations. I don't know if you guys have seen the highlights. I know you didn't watch the full game, but that impressive from both of those nations.
I mean, to be fair to the US, they have no previous in any of these tournaments, do they?
Yeah.
Really? Like Canada, at least, have qualified for some in the past when they had, I think his name was Davidson, that used to play for South Australia, who's was sort of renowned as the best player in this associate nations cricket. But yeah, I mean, good on them. We've just, me and you, while you just went through the squad, and they are like the island football team of the 90s. When I think if you once went on holiday to America, there's a chance that you're in.
Right.
However, like fair play to them. They've come out with nothing really, have they? I mean, it was announced they were hosting. A lot of people in and around cricket have gone, where the frick has that come from? And they're automatically then in the tournament because they're hosting. And you go, well, what pedigree? I know Liam Plunkett has had quite a bit to do with the stuff over there since he's moved over there recently, or sort of quite soon after the 2019 World Cup win. His other half is American, so he's been in and around it. But fair play to him. They've obviously found some decent players, and you look at the guys that they've signed. A load of them have played IPL cricket. They've played Caribbean T20 League cricket. So they've obviously got a little bit of pedigree in it. So, yeah, I mean, fair play. They look reasonable. How are they going to stand up against a major nation? I can see, looking at some pictures here, someone getting bowled out for 10.
I thought South Africa might bowl with Sri Lanka out for 10.
I've not seen. I caught 4 overs of that when South Africa were batting. But, weird for Sri Lanka to get bowled out for 77, right? I know. Obviously, South Africa won it 4 down, but these wickets, like the wicket that we saw the Texas, looked like a decent wicket. But the little bit I did see of this wicket in New York, I know it's one of the end ones of the 4 that have been laid, but these are pitches that have been curated in Brisbane and flown over or shipped over or whatever and dropped in, right? So how can the wicket be behaving as badly as it did? Because these pitches have been worked on and built to the same specs as you would expect to see dropped in at the MCG or the Wacker or wherever.
I mean, if you had to put up a United States or a Bangladesh or one of the minor nations against India, it levels the playing field, in my opinion. All of a sudden, it's you've basically not been able to baseball and club the ball out the ground as much as you can. I mean, I know we're skipping over the Papua New Guinea, West Indies, and the Oman Namibia game, which is a nail biter where they actually tied this morning. But that's South Africa. They took 16 overs to get there. They were Barry Block, and the ball was doing all sorts rolling. A couple of the wickets were due to the ball, not due to bad shots or anything to that effect. So that was a proper leveler. And if you have minor nation or one of the associate nations coming up, one of the major nations, it's going to level that game.
Maybe that's what the Americans are planning. Maybe if they make the pitch that slow, so it doesn't reach the wicket, if it bounces, everyone's going to have to bowl full peas and they're just going to turn it into baseball.
I loved one of the comments from the commentators today is like Dale Steyn was talking to one of the American guys and he said, well, when he hits it into the crowd, we've just got to remind them to throw it back. It's not baseball.
They can't keep it and take it home. Interesting that you mentioned the Oman-Namibia game. I did see that when I was checking through the results earlier. David Visa, not only, obviously it was tied. They went to a super over. I think Oman were all out. Namibia were 9 down or something like that. Anyway, so it was tied. Goes to super over. David Visa bowled the super over for Namibia and then clubbed 13, I think, when batting as well. It was him and it was Erasmus, the captain, who went out to bat for Namibia. Namibia might cause some upsets. Like we saw them in the World Cup last year. You know, they're a talented side. They've got some talented players. So, and then the West Indies, I don't know that result. I would assume they got up, did they? Against?
Yeah, they did. Papua New Guinea. So Papua New Guinea scored 136 for 8. West Indies for 5 after 19 overs. So decent. Only an over to spare.
PNG, you know, putting the best foot forward as well. Obviously, Eugene, you'll be over the moon. I know it's obviously a bit of a low scoring, probably not the best spectacle, but you know, obviously happy for South Africa to in a dangerous game as well, because Sri Lanka, you never know what they're going to bring to the table, right?
Yeah, exactly. Arguably our top rival for top spot, because when you look at our group, which is Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, Nepal, and the Netherlands. Oh, hang on, I forgot the Netherlands. We're probably going to lose to them, right? Again.
Oh, you B team, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So you'd argue that was our, I don't want to call it this, but our toughest game, paper. But yeah, I mean, that should mean that we're qualified now. I say that after one game. Cricket's a funny game.
Right, okay. So tomorrow, England start against Scotland. That's on at 3 p.m. So we'll try and tune into that, no doubt. A couple of things that obviously we discussed off air that we're going to do. You know, like we like to predict things that are obviously always wrong. Let's go through them group by group, shall we, and pick our top 2 from each group. So, Eugene, if you've got the groups in front of you, can you just run through Group A first of all, please?
Group A, USA, Canada, India, Ireland.
Oh, so it's 2 from 5. India, Ireland, Pakistan, USA, and Canada. Okay.
Yeah. So, I mean, you'd argue it's going to be
they would be
India
the sensible ones, would they not? Yeah. Okay. What do we think?
I'm going to throw Ireland in.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to throw Ireland in. Yeah.
Who's not going to go through then?
I'm going to suggest, I think India and Pakistan will go through, but I think the US will do. You'd expecting Ireland to finish 3rd in that group. I think the US will come 3rd. I think they're going to do Ireland. Eugene?
I'm going to go the same as you, Jono. I'm going India, Pakistan, the US. However, I don't know the locations of these games. So, you know, the pitch for me is going to be massively important. Like I only found out today that the pitch that South Africa played on today, we've got 3 more games on there, or 2 more games.
So, that was in New York, wasn't it? So India are based in New York as well, and they have been going berserk about the facilities and stuff. So, no, awful.
As in good or not good?
Really not happy. So, well, no,
not up to the IPL standard.
Yeah, unfortunately, they couldn't find 4 stretches of 22 yards from the M25 to just drop into downtown Queens or wherever it is to keep the Indians happy. But Group B.
Pool B. Group B. Namibia, Oman, Australia, England, and Scotland.
I mean, you've got to say England and Australia, haven't you? I don't think there's any argument there. Who's coming 3rd there? Namibia for me.
Namibia.
I'm going Namibia too.
That's weird.
That
means we're all going to be wrong.
Hell. Yeah, exactly.
Group C?
West Indies, Papua New Guinea, Afghanistan, New Zealand, and Uganda.
West Indies, New Zealand, Afghanistan. I think West Indies miss out there. I think the Afghans and New Zealand are going through.
That for me depends on massively where they're playing. Obviously, the West Indies, you'd have thought, will be playing most of their games in the West Indies. But if Afghanistan are playing a lot in the States, where it seems to be seamer friendly and jagging around all over the place, that is not their game. If they're playing a lot of games in the Caribbean, I will give them it on spinning pitches.
Fair.
New Zealand have got a lot of bases covered, so I think New Zealand will win the group because they've got both teams. I think whoever's second will be dependent on where Afghanistan are playing most of their games.
That's fair. I think they might be in the West Indies though, because the West Indies I think that their group will be centred a lot around the West Indies because obviously it's in. So that might work in Afghanistan's favour. I don't know.
That might work in Afghanistan's favour, yeah. And ironically, not in
I'm
the
also
West
going,
Indies' favour.
Yeah. I'm also going New Zealand and Afghanistan. I think, I genuinely think, I know we're going to get to this a little later. I think Afghanistan are going to be in the top 4.
Ooh.
Okay. Interesting.
Just the way that they've warmed up and how things have gone, I was like, crikey, they're playing they're playing good cricket. But again,
and Group D?
So yeah, we'll see. South Africa, Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, Nepal, Netherlands.
Well, South Africa, definitely. Sri Lanka has got to be on it.
I'm going Bangladesh.
Okay. Robbo?
I mean, that is the definition of a coin toss for who's finishing second in that group.
Yeah.
You've got Sri Lanka that should be so much better than they are, but never. I mean, we said this about them and Bangladesh at the last World Cup. They were both shocking.
Yeah.
Shockingly poor at the last World Cup. The Netherlands have got off a sniff. If the captain, as it was, Edward at the last tournament, he shapes up quite nice. Edwards, yeah. If he can get some runs on the board, then you never know what's going off. I think the Netherlands might cause a shock, and it'll probably get down to the last game, and it'll be between them and either one of Sri Lanka or Bangladesh to go through, depending on who's managed to play slightly better than the other one. But I just can't see.
Fair enough.
I think Sri Lanka, you've seen today, are, other than Kusal Mendes, who seemed to just want to block the crap out of it, I don't see where their runs are coming from.
Yeah. And then that leaves us with the Super 8s. And so those 8 teams qualify for the Super 8s. And then it is 2 groups, each of 4 teams.
Oh, God.
And then it's this thing again. So we're going back into that whole thing. So it's not going to be like normal cricket, I guess we could call it. But it's quarters and semis. It's
what they're doing, all the firsts in one group and all the seconds in the other group, and 3 go through from one group and A1 from the other, or something stupid.
Yeah, the teams in the 2 groups will be A1, B2, C1, D2, A2, B1, C2, D1. So yeah, you basically go on 1 and 2 alternating.
That's a very complicated tournament. Well, the ICC, well done. So what do you think? What would your final 4 be, Jono?
I don't know who's likely to play who, but who do I think the top 4 sides are going to be? I like South Africa. I like de Kock. I like Klaassen. I think they've got a good bowling attack. I think
you need to be careful how you say things like that.
Very good. I've just realised what I said. Simon's absolutely lost his mind here, by the way, listeners. That is top draw. Yes.
Yeah.
Very good. Oh, that's definitely going to be a meme, isn't it? So South Africa, I think England, Australia. So England and Australia can't meet each other in the quarters, can they? So last 4, England, Australia, South Africa, and India. That's very basic from me, but I think that's how it'll shape up.
Huge.
I am going India, South Africa, England, and Afghanistan.
No Australia. That's interesting.
No Australia, no New Zealand.
Also, the Australians need to stop making that program called The Test because it makes you think that some of them are actually nice people, which upsets me.
Yeah.
Robert? I think it's going to be India, Afghanistan, England, and New Zealand.
Oh no! He's rattled Eugene's cage here. No.
Because I think New Zealand always rock up at these tournaments. I'm picking New Zealand because you can't not pick New Zealand. They've been in every semi-final of every ICC tournament for the last 10 years.
That's true. That is true.
So everyone's always and they don't get picked ever by people doing what we like a bit of analysis, but they always get to semi-finals. Always.
They're a good tournament side, aren't they?
I think you've got to put them in. Yeah. Well, they're just very hard to beat. Like you're going to sit there and go, right, who's the leading run scorer is going to be, and you don't know. Leading wicket takers, probably everyone's going to say Trent Bolt, but it'll then end up being someone like Mitch Santner or someone like that. I just think they're very good. They go under the radar quite nicely. I think they quite enjoy that thing, that kind of tag. So pick them there.
Talking of leading run scorers and wicket takers, then who do we think top run scorer for the tournament? Simon
Butler.
Okay, Eugene.
I'm going to go Virat Kohli.
See, I was thinking that because he was in such fine form in the IPL. However, I'm going to go for someone who. Oh, actually, can I pick him? Because I don't know if he's going to play. He didn't have a great IPL. I had Jaiswal in my mind because I think obviously he had a great Test series against England, but I don't know if he's going to get into that India side. I'm going to say Sky.
That's rogue. Is he even in the squad?
Pretty sure he is. He's the best T20 player in the world. Sorry, Kumar Yadav, he's definitely playing.
I'm going to check if he's in the squad.
He's definitely playing. He's the best T20 batter in the world.
He is.
I mean, that would have been that as the anchor of the cricket-based podcast. That would have been fucking shocking for me. Top run scorer, someone who's sitting at home on a deck chair. Right, top wicket taker for the tournament, Eugene.
Nokia. He just bowled so well. He's got such a big point to prove with everyone slagging him off and saying he's been injured and he hasn't played enough. I know the wicket helped him a little bit today. But he just looks.
I'd never slag him off. He looks like the kind of bloke who would just like stab you in the throat with a broken bottle. Just if you didn't like the way you looked at him, he looks like a really aggressive man. But then you see him interviewed, and he seems like a really nice man.
I mean, he wants to stab you in the throat with a cricket ball off a pitch.
Robbo,
for me, it's between him and Bumrah.
Okay,
so I'll go Nokia actually because I think. Like Eugene says, I think he's got a massive point to prove, and I think he's a very, very good bowler.
I'm going to go for Jadeja because the wicket's in the West Indies. We all know him.
Yeah, I mean Maharaj bowled.
Who's Siraj? Maharaj, yeah.
Maharaj.
Yeah, he's a great
South
shout
Africa
as
left
well.
arm over.
I just think that with the wickets, the majority of the tournament is going to be played in the West Indies, and if India are playing 3 games in New York on that track, then Jadeja is going to be an absolute nightmare to face. So, yeah, I think Ravi Jadeja, he's always a fantastic performer, isn't he?
If they're playing over there, Jadeja's not bowling because Bumrah's getting 15 wickets a game.
Fair.
Yeah. Do you know what? I'm surprised none of us are going for Shaheen Shah Afridi. I mean, I was thinking his warm-up games look.
Yeah, the sole reason I've not gone for him is because I don't think Pakistan are going to get through the group, so he's just not going to play the same amount of games. And I hope I'm wrong because I think Pakistan in tournament cricket are brilliant to watch. I just don't think I just don't think they're going to get through the group.
When in their warm-up game, once they got through Rizwan and Baba, there was nothing there, no substance.
They've got absolute unit of a wicketkeeper. He looks like you having a go, Huge. And
Azam, he looked like he was.
He looked like he was everywhere. He was all over my fucking TV screen.
I don't know. To be fair, they couldn't set the cameras up far enough away from him.
Early. Yeah, good front row there.
Right, Simon,
is he up there with Dwayne Leverock as the largest man to play at a T20 World Cup?
Oh, he's got to be right.
Well, his nephew.
Yeah. I mean, let's see, because if he can take a catch.
Dwayne Leverock's nephew is playing in the Derby Premier League this year.
Yeah, he played in the Notts Prem a couple of years ago.
Oh, did he? Oh no, hold on. No, he's playing. No, sorry, he's playing for Radcliffe. Shamar Holder's playing which is Jason Holder's friend. I think is playing in the Derby Prem. Talking of the Derby Premier League, when Simon and I played golf very early on, I think what Simon played was referred to as golf. Still, I don't know. That's the TBC. But the other fella that we played with was talking to us about. Sorry, sir, I couldn't help myself. The Derbyshire Premier League. There was one side in the Derbyshire. This is the Premier League in Derbyshire, right? One side was bowled out for 23, right, and weren't the worst performing side. There was another side in the Derbyshire Premier League bowled out for 14. 22 lads have had a go each and got 37 between them. Now, obviously, from a Woodstock perspective, I have to look at scores around the leagues and this, that, and the other. There's been some rogue results this weekend in terms of just sides getting blown away for absolutely nothing in some decent levels of cricket. Like, is it?
I've got a better one. I've got a better one from this weekend.
That's in
Wedgwood
Stoke. This is
CC,
class.
all out. 8
Cheers.
all out after 10 overs. Checkley CC, 9 after 1 ball.
Oh, good. 8 all out.
Imagine being the number 3 batter. That's costing £12, that number 3.
Exactly. 8 all out. 8.
8 all out, knocked him off in 1 ball.
No, but hold on. Do you reckon they had 10 in between?
There were 2 people that scored runs.
Were there any leg buys or anything? Or
Yeah, 2 people scored runs. 4 leg buys, 1 wide. The opening bat that batted second scored 2. The number 10 scored 1. And top scorer was leg buy.
Sensational. Do you think they didn't stop for tea halfway?
In the game in Derbyshire, didn't they? It hadn't even arrived. The players are bringing their own.
Yeah. About
I mean, I thought the first one that I saw from the weekend was Weybridge 11, and they were bowled out for 29. I mean, Weybridge, a big club. Their second 11 got bowled out for 29. I was like, crikey, that's... And then Beddington, 32 for 2 after 10 overs. But yeah, I mean, there's been some rogue results this weekend with the rain that we had last week. Let's go with
Tarrant, by the way, friend of the show, avid listener to the show, got his best ever figures of 7 for 40 this weekend for Stoke Davenant Cricket Club. Reasonable return. I think the side he was playing against got bowled out for 43, but slightly expensive in that sense, Toby. But no, well bowled, Toby.
He did go in 6s. I did see that.
Oh dear. Simon, have you prepared anything for us?
What was that?
Simon, we need a jingle for this, actually, Huge. Stupid Simon, stupid quiz. Have you prepared anything for us?
Well, I have. There's a couple of things I do want to say. Next week, everyone, is Men's Mental Health Week. So check on them, mate. Give them a ring. Ask people how they are. Obviously, one of the main drivers behind us doing this silly thing is that we do talk a little bit about mental health. So next week is Men's Mental Health Week. I'm not keeping it just to men, but we are 3 men, if we can associate us as that nowadays. But yeah, just check on your mates next week. Make sure everyone's all right. Give them something to talk to. The other one on that fact is Grace. Last week, I heard one of the saddest stories. I witnessed some of it on television, unfortunately, that I've ever seen watching any professional sport. And that is Grayson Murray.
Oh, yeah.
Now, Grayson Murray, for people who don't know, don't follow golf, was a American professional golfer who tragically took his own life at the age of 30. The poor guy had suffered for years through alcoholism. Apparently, he had some issues in his childhood, and that led to certain things. But this guy was a standout golfer as a youngster, coming through college and all this kind of stuff through the American system. But was clearly a troubled man. And I can remember watching, or I say a highlight because it's not a highlight, but watching some highlights of the golf, and it showed him walking off. He missed a 2-footer for par on the 16th green, and he just walked off, claiming he was ill. And he then flew home and decided that was it. Now, for me, it is so sad. Like some of the stuff that's been said, like some of his mates that were talking to him and stuff on the range saying they didn't know and they wish they had known and all this kind of stuff. Like you never ever know what people are going through. And so, which is why it's so important for you to check on your mates. And I just thought that with it being Men's Mental Health Week next week, that was worth a bit of a mention.
100%. Before you carry on.
Yeah. So condolences to.
I think that's absolutely a massive part of what we do, and probably something that we don't perhaps commit enough time to these days. Like some of the interviews that we've had. When I was in Ibiza the other week, like Luke Sutton was at Ibiza Cricket Club on one of the days, and I had a really, really nice catch up with him for an hour, and and just reminiscing about when he came onto the podcast and stuff. Like, don't rely on somebody else to make that phone call to someone, whether you think they're struggling or not. Like, what one phone call that you make to someone can be the difference, and you will probably never know. But if you're concerned about someone, or even if you're not, just next week, or not even next week, like it's just that is a week that is just associated to it. But just keep phoning your mates, just see how they are, like, because everybody goes through shit. You never know how people are feeling from one day to the next, and it's really important that we've all got busy lives and we've all got loads of stuff that we need to do, and things sometimes seem more important and what have you, but nothing is more important than that, and nothing's more important than people feeling that they've deserved to be here and that they're valued and loved and so on and so forth. So, yeah, quite right, Si. Massive. People need to make sure that we are putting calls into friends and family as much as we can. Not because you think it's going to make a difference. You shouldn't have to. That shouldn't be the driver for it. It's just about making sure people are okay and know that they're loved and respected. So, yeah, well said, Mark.
But on to stupid Simon. I'm calling myself stupid there. I'm not. Yeah, that's a bit of a daft thing to do. Stupid quiz. Now I've gone for a bit of a different one this week. It's not actually a quiz or anything like that. But obviously, the Cricket World Cup is being taken to brand new places that cricket has never, some might say should never, and will probably never be played again. So my question to you guys, obviously we've got some absolute cricketing meccas where the atmospheres are incredible. Like you think of Eden Gardens in India, you think of Cape Town, for example, with everything that goes off there, the MCG, the atmospheres that go off there.
Twickenham Green.
In the UK, you've got places like Edgbaston with the crowds. Right. So my Twickenham Green, yes, with the homeless man throwing piss at you. So my question to you two guys is, anywhere else in the world, not a regular cricketing thing, where would you want a game of cricket to be played? Given like all the other sporting arenas and everything else that you can think of, or even just a place that you think, actually, yeah, that'd be quite a good crack. Where would you want a game of cricket to be played?
Do you mean something like the Serengeti?
If that's where you think the atmosphere would be quite good, or you think it'd be challenging wicket, or I mean, I don't know. Whatever for you makes an entertaining game of cricket.
Isn't the Serengeti in Kenya? I might have completely got that wrong.
I mean, the Serengeti
is what in Kenya. My mate Ed, who I've known from.
I mean, they might play cricket there already.
Well, they do. That was my next point. I'm going to try and organise a Woodstock cricket tour to Kenya. So you can make that dream come true, Eugene. You can actually go and play cricket in the Serengeti.
Perfect.
Oh, I would like
Eugene hurt with cramp after 4 balls in the 67-degree temperature.
You just have to make. I was going to say something about water buffaloes, and I'm not going to say that. Yeah. Where I would like to play a game of cricket, does it have to be like the proper traditional, like a T20 or something, or can it just be like a form of cricket?
No, it can be anything like T20 cricket.
I think the pool area at Caesar's Palace or somewhere around the Strip on Las Vegas, some kind of game of cricket would be absolutely fucking brilliant.
Have they not got a game in Vegas?
No.
Are they playing in Vegas?
No games in Vegas. It's all in New York and Texas. Other than Los Angeles, he's having cricket in the 2028 Olympics, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, where they're going to be playing.
I mean, I'm thinking of like places that are picturesque, like Egypt, overlooking, because I'm thinking of Cape Town, you overlook Table Mountain, and there's other places where you've got all these picturesque grounds that you're looking at phenomenal things. And so I'm thinking of places like
Rio.
Egypt would be pretty good, actually.
That's where I was going. I was going Rio de Janeiro.
That would be pretty good. Well, obviously they have the play
because is it Boca Juniors against? Yeah. Is it the football? What's the Boca Juniors against River Plate? I might have getting that wrong. That might be two separate things. I think River Plate's in Argentina for a start, so that's definitely not a thing. But like, I can imagine the game there with that kind of raucous crowd.
Isn't Boca Juniors also in Argentina?
Being a hell of an atmosphere. In which case, wherever that is, then let's go for there.
Oh, I was going to say somewhere else then. Where else was I going to say then? Oh yeah. What about
Alaska?
It would be freezing cold.
Freezing cold.
Can't see you getting your speeds up there. What about in the cauldron of like the people, the only people watching were the Fenerbahce ultras and the Galatasaray ultras, and you had to like that would be an atmosphere.
I mean, yeah, or it'd just be a wall.
Well, yeah, all right.
I mean, that's not. You may as well just go to where they're having the most riots at the minute. We may as well just go and play a game knocking them out there.
Yeah.
I was going to get awfully political then and just been decided to change.
No,
I could see that.
We can't talk about the cricket draft because there's obviously no championship cricket on at the moment. But I presume that I'm not first and I'm not last. But we will start to pick that up again once the county championship gets back into full swing. But ladies and gentlemen, an absolute pleasure as always to be back with you. We will be recording now weekly until in 2 weeks' time we undoubtedly come back with another cap in hand apology about why we couldn't get together next week. No, in all seriousness, we are now locking in our weekly sessions to record with one another. Gentlemen, thank you so much. It's been a pleasure. Look forward to, there's going to be obviously a lot more World Cup cricket played in the next 7 days before we get together again. But, excited to watch some cricket. I feel like I haven't really been able to watch any decent cricket for a while. So hopefully the World Cup remains as entertaining as the first few days have been, and then we've got plenty to chat about next week. But please don't forget, start putting those calls into your mates just to make sure that they're all right. It's really, really vitally important that we do that. But until then, from me, cheers.
Sports Social Podcast Network.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance engineer, he hears things differently. To the untrained ear, everything on his shop floor might sound fine, but he can hear gears grinding or a belt slipping. So he steps in to fix the problem at hand before it gets out of hand. And he knows Grainger's got the right product he needs to get the job done, which is music to his ears. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.